y'all, what's up? It's Friday, so I'm gonna keep it black, but I'm gonna keep it brief. It would seem as though I've got to call you people in again. And you people, as in my people. Look like to me y'all didn't get enough last week, so bring that ass here, boy. Why on earth was y'all shucking and jiving down to the Chick-fil-A on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive to perform a minstrel show for Donald Trump? I know all of us seen Maya Angelou say, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. But it don't give comprehension. On the way to a fundraiser here in Buckhead, Donald Trump carried his cracking ass down to the Chick-fil-A in the West End. Now for anybody who's ever been to Atlanta, you know good and goddamn well there is no reason you should ever need to pass through the West End to get to Buckhead from Hartsfield-Jackson. But he decided to stop there anyway to take pictures with the staff and give out free milkshakes to customers. I bet money he wanted to give out free chicken. But somebody on his team said, now that's a little bit too on the nose. I think they'll find us out if we give the inner city blacks free chicken. But it gets worse. This was a Chick-fil-A right behind the Atlanta University Center, home to Spelman, Morehouse, Clark Atlanta, and Morris Brown, where some of the country's brightest black minds are being molded into tomorrow's thinkers, leaders, and change agents, or so we thought. Because baby, what the hell made you think it was okay to have a Spelman hand etched into the annals of history placed across this man's chest? And this baby is young, likely impressionable, and is literally being ostracized for this action in real life, so I will not condone or participate in bullying her. But there needs to be serious consideration that sure, Spelman College is not an institution that is decidedly Democrat or Republican, especially with this new generation looking to dismantle the two-party system, which is largely made up of college students. But also considering the fact that we just celebrated 143 years of the existence of Spelman as the maker for black women's empowerment and the academic home of several black feminist icons, what we won't do is allow that heritage to be juxtaposed next to a walking antithesis of black women's liberation. And it wasn't just her. Apparently, a young girl from Clark, Atlanta took it upon herself to say on camera, this is Spelman, this is Clark, this is Morehouse, and this is Morris Brown, and we support you, Mr. Trump. Who is we, sister? What really made me gag, as in like throw up in my mouth a little bit, was seeing more than one slide of young black women clinging to this man's person with perceivable glee. But once again, these are just kids, and we can only hope that the social ramifications of this stunt will help them learn from their actions. But the actions displayed yesterday are but a microcosm of the way a lot of y'all be acting when it comes to fame and fanfare, particularly associated with Donald Trump. Let him offer you something, and all of his atrocities go out the window. He's done the same thing at black churches. He's done it at other HBCUs. He did it with those two very misguided black women, Diamond and Silk, parading them around his 2020 campaign as his hype women. He so very obviously uses black people as pawns to siphon votes from unsuspecting populations that he suspects don't take elections seriously enough to have an opinion in the first place. And I'm increasingly concerned that some of you can't see that we are falling into the same trap that was laid in 2016, or that you simply do not care. And right now, today, we cannot afford to be careless with our allegiance or frivolous with its representation. Well, him being president really didn't affect me, and he was shelling out those stimulus checks, so he good in my book. Say it with me. No, he did not. It was a lie. Congress said that you needed the money, and he wanted to say, fuck y'all for real. And even if you don't care that it wasn't necessarily his idea, what you do need to know is that his ideas are the ones that are making your everyday life terrible. The whole time you worried about a check that was gone, 2 weeks later? Exhibit A, his 2017 tax bill has steadily increased taxes for anyone making less than $75,000 a year, which is why everybody you know was looking at their refunds, or a lack thereof, crazy this year. Exhibit B, Trump appointed 3 conservative Supreme Court justices to the roster, and now y'all dodged the law trying to get an abortion. Women lost their reproductive rights with the overturn of Roe v. Wade. Minorities lost a supposed fair shot at higher education when they took affirmative action. Businesses have been given the right to discriminate against people on the basis of their gender and sexuality. The Voting Rights Act has been weakened, and any attempt at canceling student loan debt has been blocked at every turn. Up until recently, I guess Joe did that one thing. But they've already told you they're going for our civil rights next. And Trump has already told you if elected, he'll do everything he can to make sure it's the last election we've ever have. But you thought it was cute to give the backwater racists that live down the street from you even more rhetorical ammunition to support his delusions of grandeur to rid us of a free election. Public opinion can sway elections, everybody. That's quite literally how it works. That's why celebrity endorsements are so important. Yes, there are people that are always going to vote for him. And while the inverse is true as well, stunts like this not only rally his base, but can also sway undecided voters. But you know what else it does? Perhaps the most important consequence is not only having people vote for somebody who should literally be in jail, much less allowed to run, but it also influences people who know nothing about local candidates and will either make their whole ballot Republican in November or Christmas tree it. Tennessee's Senate just passed a bill allowing public school faculty and staff to carry concealed handguns instead of just getting rid of the automatic weapons. The Arizona Supreme Court just reinstated an abortion ban from 1864. This social media shit has real life consequences. We're in a time where at least 50% of adults in the United States get at least some of their news from social media. And doing something that may seem as frivolous as grabbing a photo op with Donald Trump is empowering the people across our states who have the actual factual plans and means to take away our rights and freedoms. So for those of you who feel like you don't actually have a dog in this fight and will do anything for a TV moment, I need you to think twice, 3, hell, maybe even 4 times about what you do in the public eye. Because as unserious as a place social media can be, it's time for all of us to be for real.